Good morning. Happy Tuesday. All right. Let's see. February 22nd. Okay. February 22nd. Prohibitions against eating blood. Leviticus 17, 1 through 16. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to Aaron and his sons and all the people of Israel. This is what the Lord has commanded. If any native Israelite sacrifices a bull or a lamb or a goat anywhere inside or outside of the camp, instead of bringing it into the entrance of the tabernacle to present it as an offering to the Lord, that person will be as guilty as a murderer. Such a person has shed blood and will be cut off from the community." The purpose of this rule is to stop the Israelites from sacrificing animals in the open fields. It will ensure that they bring their sacrifices to the priest at the entrance of the tabernacle, so he can present them to the Lord as a peace offering. Then the priest will be able to splatter the blood against the side of the altar and at the entrance of the tabernacle, and he will burn the fat as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. The people must no longer be unfaithful to the Lord by offering sacrifices to the goat idols. This is a permanent law for them, to be observed from generation to generation. Give them this command as well. If any native Israelite or foreigner living among you offers a burnt offering or a sacrifice, but does not bring it to the entrance of the tabernacle to offer it to the Lord, that person will be cut off from the community. And if any native Israelite or foreigner living among you eats or drinks blood in any form, I will turn against that person and cut him off from the community of your people, for the life of the body is in its blood. I have given you the blood on the altar to purify you, making you right with the Lord. It is the blood given in exchange for a life that makes purification possible. That is why I have said to the people of Israel, you must never eat or drink blood, never you nor the foreigners living among you. And if any native Israelites or foreigners living among you goes hunting and kills a bird or kills an animal or a bird that is approved for eating, he must drain the blood and cover it with earth. The life of every creature is in its blood. That is why I have said to the people of Israel, you must never eat or drink the blood, for the life of any creature is in its blood. So whoever consumes the blood will be cut off from the community. And if any native-born Israelite or foreigners eat the meat of an animal that died naturally or was torn up by wild animals, they must wash their clothes and bathe themselves in water. They will remain ceremonially unclean until evening, but then they will be clean. But if they do not wash their clothes and bathe themselves, they will be punished for their sins. Forbidden sexual practices, Leviticus 18:1 through 30. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. I am the Lord your God. So do not act like the people of Egypt where you used to live, or like the people of Canaan where I am taking you. You must not imitate their way of life. You must obey all my regulations and be careful to obey my decrees, for I am the Lord your God. If you obey my decrees and my regulations, you will find life through them. I am the Lord. You must never have sexual relations with a close relative, for I am the Lord. Do not violate your father by having sexual relationships with your mother. She is your mother. You must not have sexual relations with her. Do not have sexual relations with any of your father's wives, for this would violate your father. Do not have sexual relations with your sister or half-sister, whether she is your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether she was born into your household or someone else's. Do not have sexual relations with your granddaughter, whether she is your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, for this would violate yourself. Do not have sexual relations with your stepsister, the daughter of any of your father's wives, for she is your sister. Do not have sexual relations with your father's sister, for she is your father's close relative. Do not have sexual relations with your mother's sister, for she is your mother's close relative. Do not violate your uncle, your father's brother, by having sexual relations with his wife, for she is your aunt. Do not have sexual relations with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife, so you must not have sexual relations with her. Do not have sexual relations with your brother's wife, for this would violate your brother. Do not have sexual relationships with both a woman and her daughter, and do not take her granddaughter, and do not take her granddaughter, whether her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter, and have sexual relations with her. They are close relatives, and this would be a wicked act. While your wife is living, do not marry her sister or have sexual relations with her, for they would be rivals. Do not have sexual relations with a woman during her period of menstrual impurity. Do not defile yourself by having sexual intercourse with your neighbor's wife. Do not permit any of your children to be offered as sacrifices to Moloch, for you must not bring shame on the name of your God. I am the Lord. Do not practice homosexuality, having sex with another man as with a woman. It is a detestable sin. A man must not defile himself by having sex with an animal, and a woman must not offer herself to a male animal to have intercourse with it. This is a perverse act. Do not defile yourselves in any of these ways, for the people I am driving out before you have defiled themselves in these ways. But the entire land has become defiled. Because the entire land has become defiled, I am punishing the people who live there. I will cause the land to vomit them out. You must obey all my decrees and regulations. You must not commit any of these detestable sins. This applies to both native-born Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. All these detestable activities are practiced by the people of the land where I am taking you, and this is how the land has become defiled. So do not defile the land by giving it a reason to vomit you out, as it will vomit out the people who live there now. Whoever commits any of these detestable sins will be cut off from the community of Israel. So obey my instructions and do not defile yourselves by committing any of these detestable practices that were committed by the people who lived in the land before you. I am the Lord your God. Holiness and personal conduct. Leviticus 19, 1-37. The Lord also said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to your entire community of Israel. You must be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must show great respect for your mother and father, and you must always observe my Sabbath day of rest. I am the Lord your God. Do not put your trust in idols or make metal images of gods for yourselves. I am the Lord your God. When you sacrifice a peace offering to the Lord, offer it properly so you will be accepted by God. The sacrifice will be eaten on the same day you offer it, or the next day. Whatever is left until the third day must be completely burned up. If any sacrifice is eaten on the third day, it will be contaminated, and I will not accept it. Anyone who eats it on the third day will be punished for defiling what is holy to the Lord, and will be cut off from the community. When you harvest the crops of your land, do not harvest the grain along the edges of your fields, and do not pick up what harvesters drop. It is the same with your grape crop. Do not strip every last branch of grapes from the vines, and do not pick up the grapes that fall on the ground. Leave them for the poor and the foreigners living among you. I am the Lord your God. Do not steal. Do not deceive or cheat one another. Do not bring shame on the name of your God by using it to swear falsely. I am the Lord. Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not make your hired workers wait until the next day to receive their pay. Do not insult the deaf or cause the blind to stumble. You must fear the Lord your God. I am the Lord. Do not twist justice in legal matters by favoring the poor or by being partial to the rich and powerful. Always judge people fairly. Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people. Do not stand idly by while your neighbor's life is threatened. I am the Lord. Do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relatives. Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty for their sin. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against a fellow Israelite, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. You must obey all my decrees. Do not mate 2 different kinds of animals. Do not plant your field with 2 different kinds of seed. Do not wear clothing woven from 2 different kinds of thread. If a man has sex with a slave girl whose freedom has never been purchased, but who is committed to become another man's wife, he must pay full compensation to her master. But since she is not a free woman, neither the man nor the woman will be put to death. The man, however, must bring a ram as a guilt offering and present it to the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle. The priest will then purify him before the Lord with the ram of the guilt offering, and the man's sin will be forgiven. When you enter the land, and plant fruit trees, leave the fruit unharvested for the first 3 years and consider it forbidden. Do not eat it. In the 4th year, the entire crop must be consecrated to the Lord as a celebration of praise. Finally, in the 5th year, you may eat the fruit. If you follow this pattern, your harvest will increase. I am the Lord your God. Do not eat meat that has not been drained of its blood. Do not practice fortune-telling or witchcraft. Do not trim off the hair on your temples or trim your beards. Do not cut your bodies for the dead, and do not mark your skin with tattoos. I am the Lord. Do not defile your daughter by making her a prostitute, or the land will be filled with prostitution and wickedness. Keep my Sabbath days of rest and show reverence toward my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not defile yourselves by turning to mediums or those who consult the spirits of the dead. I am the Lord your God. Stand up in the presence of the elderly and show respect for the aged. Fear your God. I am the Lord. Do not take revenge on foreigners who live among you in your land. Treat them like native-born Israelites and love them as you love yourselves. Remember that you were once foreigners living in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, or volume. Your scales and weights must be accurate. Your containers for measuring dry materials or liquids must be accurate. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. You must be careful to keep all of my decrees and regulations by putting them into practice. I am the Lord. Okay, that's it. I almost went on to reading the next day. Accidentally. Okay, let's do day 53 in our Trim Healthy Mama 100 Days of Inspiration. You'll never lose by giving. Did you know that of all the animals in the world, the sheep is the greatest giver? All year, the faithful sheep grows its wool, not for itself, but to give it away. Once or twice a year, the sheep is sheared for all of its wool. It doesn't give grudgingly but submissively and willingly. My father, Ivan Bowen, who has passed away, was once a world champion shearer. He and his brother Godfrey promoted the wool industry across the world. I love what my uncle Godfrey wrote about sheep. The soft, valuable wool, contributed so willingly by the humble sheep, who when shorn, stripped bare, and a little cold, has given all that it has to give. And once shorn, the sheep is off again, away on the range to grow it all over again. The sheep makes no fuss, waits for no compliments for its wondrous fleece, because it has given as a sheep has always given, because that is what it was born for. This is what it lives for, to give willingly all that it has. As one of God's sheep, this is what he tenderly calls you. You were born to sacrifice, born to give your all, and you will never lose by giving. Jesus gives us an eternal principle for ultimate living in Mark 8:35. Whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and for the gospel's the same shall save it. Nancy. It's just inanimate. You are a piece of stupid junk, I yelled as I banged the washing machine with my fist for the 15th time. I was wasting my voice and energy because it had no ears and heart. Once again, water was cascading out of my laundry room, and onto my beautiful hardwood floors of my home. My children saw my hissy fit and dealt me my own medicine. Don't worry, Mommy, it's just inanimate. Inanimate is a word we often use in our home as I seek to teach my children how much energy we waste over materialistic stuff. When they complain about things like a scratch on their bike, a toy they are squabbling over, or an irreparable tear on their favorite shirt, I say, don't worry about it. It's just inanimate. Do you really want to waste emotional energy over a thing? We don't want to become stoic, and we should be emotionally affected by what pertains to life and eternity. However, being emotionally upset by things that will rot away in the end, anyways, shows we have given them too much priority. Serene. A new lifestyle. Growing up, I had an abundance of favorites. Chocolate milk, juice, cookies, macaroni and cheese, spaghetti, candy, and more. Maybe that's why I would spit out the bites of salad my mom gave me. It tasted different, and I didn't like it. It wasn't until my later childhood that I had to finish the salad on my plate. It also wasn't until my late teen years that I learned to embrace these healthy foods. Maybe I haven't completely grown up yet. I still don't like certain dressings on my salad, but I've come a long way. Sometimes eating healthy takes you out of your comfort zone, or should I say, comfort food. Many people rave about new recipes they discover, but for others, it's too different and they don't like the change. The first step is to force your way through the comfort zone of comfort foods and into the real world with real foods, and eventually you'll get used to your new lifestyle. You could be just as attached to the new ones as you were to the old. That is so much truth right there. So much truth. You have to get over the you got to get over the hump. You got to get past those sugar cravings and past the desire for that stuff. And it does go away, especially when you 100% eliminate them. It goes away. Okay, you guys. Thanks for... my leg. Oh, gosh. Oh, I kept it in that position too long. It got stiff. I'm getting old. All right. So for breakfast this morning, y'all... going to have something that is not normally eaten for breakfast, and I'm doing it to introduce you to a recipe for lunch. We're going to have hummus this morning. I love hummus. The only problem with me making hummus for breakfast is I fear that I may eat the entire recipe because I love hummus. It is... and it's usually a crossover. A lot of it at the store can be on plan, but it's usually a crossover. And I don't want no crossover on a Tuesday. Who eats crossovers on Tuesday? Crossovers are special. Tuesdays are not. So I just have to get myself ready. I got to go get the dog up, give him his meds and all that jazz. And then I will be back for brekkie. Hope to see you there. Oh, should be just a little bit. Shouldn't be too terribly long. What time is it? 7:15 or so. All right, you guys, I love you all. Have a blessed day, and I hope to see you for breakfast. If not, I'll see you back tomorrow for more devotions. Bye, guys.